Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For our radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also, tuning in through iHeartRadio and Amazon Music. We're glad you all could be with us as well. As you guys know, we always are trying to share inspiring stories with you guys, and we have a real treat for you that is joining us today. We're excited to welcome Miss USA 2023 Noelia Voight to our program. We're going to talk to Noelia not only about what it's been like for her to not only to recently been crowned Miss USA, but also what it's been like for her to use her platform to not only be able to motivate and inspire, but to remind all of us of what's possible. If you all are not staying connected with her journey, of course, and what's coming up with her, she, of course, looks forward to Miss Universe competition, but also let you guys know how to stay connected with her. Noelia, thank you again for the time. Really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, the pleasure's definitely all mine. First of all, you've been doing a lot of these conversations, I know. Have you had a chance to let it all sink in?
I feel that the more that I do these interviews, the more it does sink in, because I'm really just recounting every moment of that weekend and, the days after. And I'm like, wow, this really is real life. Like, this is not a dream. I've now slept for 3 or 4 nights since I won, and I keep waking up and I'm still Miss USA. So.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing that was interesting for me when I was prepping for your segment, Noelia, is that, of course, I read, the creed before you were crowned, and I thought about listening to those words and what it means and what it has meant for so many before you. What was it like for you standing up on that stage and to think about that moment and being able to be a part of history?
Yeah, I mean, when I was standing up there and Morgan read the creed, it was very, very much in that moment like, okay, if I win, like, this needs to be upheld, and I know that I will, because it's really important. It's always been a part of the Miss USA organization, and it was just a really great reminder for her to go ahead and read that before the crowning moment. So then when I won, I remember my first thought was, oh my God, no way, like, I just won. And kind of, I did my first walk as Miss USA. I'm waving to everybody. I'm sobbing. And I get back, and once I've kind of had a chance to pull myself together, I remember thinking, all right, you're Miss USA. Like, remember the creed and remember all of the things that you have been advocating for so far. We're going to have a really great year. And, our new CEO and president of the Miss USA organization, Layla Rose, is a phenomenal woman. She's all about women empowerment and also being very involved heavily in the community. So Miss USA really is a philanthropy organization. She wants for myself and for Miss Teen USA, Uma Sophia Srivastava, to be heavily involved in our communities and to expand upon our social projects. So her whole thing is kind of like, well, why stop at 1, 2, or 3 things that you advocate for? There were 51 girls on stage in the Miss USA division and also in the Miss Teen USA division, and they all advocate for different and incredible things. And so she kind of wants for us to continue those things on a larger scale, because they all deserve to be advocated for. So we're really excited about that.
Such a great thing. And I mentioned in my introduction, Noelia, that you've been able, of course, to motivate and inspire people even before getting that crown. What does that feel like to not only know that you're showing other people, and particularly women, what's possible, but also how, if they do work hard, what they can achieve in their lives?
It's honestly so special to me, because there are women in my life that I look up to and feel that exact way about. So to know that there are people that feel that way about me is really something that I don't take lightly. Like, that means truly the world to me. And, I went through some really difficult times to get here. And so to be able to be transparent on social media about every trial that I've ever kind of dealt with that led me to this moment, and people being able to see for themselves how true of a testament it is that hard work really does pay off, and just not giving up on your dreams is really special. A word that I've always used to describe myself, especially in pageantry, is unrelenting, because you kind of have to be. if it's just the truth that you won't win every pageant you compete in. And if it was a different day with different judges, the outcome would have been totally different. And so if you are unrelenting in your dream of becoming whatever it is that you want in your life, and just pushing through and pushing through and pushing through, regardless of any obstacles that, might try to stop you or get in your way or slow you down, then, great risk comes great reward. So I encourage everybody to just keep pushing.
Yeah, such a great thing. And one of the ways that you mentioned online, of course, people been able to connect with you, Noelia, is, of course, through social media. There was an Instagram post that you had actually made as you were, of course, preparing for the competition. And I thought it was so interesting when I was prepping for this. You wrote, it was Good Morning Day 3 at Miss USA. And one of the comments caught my attention, and I want to read it and just kind of talk about what that feels like to have someone say this about you. They said, "May I say also, you come across so down to earth, so humble, with no ego at all, such positivity and infectious smile that you have made everyone happy. I can't wait to see what you achieve and accomplish in present and future." I mean, how does it feel to know that you're able to, just by being yourself, be able to not only make others feel good, but also to remember again what they can be able to do?
Oh my gosh, that comment means the world to me, because I've always been the kind of person that believes that whenever you interact with somebody, they may not remember what you said, but they'll always remember how they made you or how you made them feel. And so it's always important to me that no matter whatever interaction I have with somebody, that it's a positive one, and that there is no ego involved. I'm 100% honest when I say this. Like, I'm very, very humble. I still at times I'm like, oh my God, I'm Miss USA. And when I actually was at a restaurant last night, and the owner had everybody applaud for me, and I was hiding my face behind my hands. And I'm proud of it. Don't get me wrong, I'm very proud of it. But at the same time, it was like I wanted to go around and hug everybody that was congratulating me. And at the end of the day, I'm still just Noelia, and I have this new shiny hat and a great title, but I'm still just Noelia, and I always just want to be that, for people, and for them to know that they can always approach me, they can always talk to me. I've always been the person, especially growing up in school, that whenever someone was having a problem, they wanted to vent to me about it, and so, that's still something that I want to continue to do, is just be there for people. And as Miss USA, you're going to be there for people. We're heavily involved in community service. We advocate for people, who are going through hard times. And so I think it's important that attitude continues, and I know that it will, because I want to heavily and positively impact everyone that I come across.
Well, no, you were definitely doing that. Noelia, I cannot have you come here during the month of October, which is also National Book Month, without talking about another thing I noticed when I was prepping for your segment. I mean, one of the issues you've been able to address is the issue of bullying with your book, Maddie the Brave. I want to talk about that, because why has it been so important for you, too, again, you having the platform that you have, to be able to raise awareness for things like that with bullying?
Right. I mean, so bullying is an epidemic in the United States of America. And so many children are facing it, on varying levels, of course, and there's so many different kinds of bullying. But the sad thing is that children are taking their lives over it, and that is truly unacceptable. It really is unacceptable. And so I became very impassioned about, this cause, and so I decided to write a children's book about it, because one of the best ways to reach kids is through books. I mean, they're constantly reading. And so I wrote this book in honor of a 9-year-old girl from Birmingham, Alabama, who took her own life after being so badly bullied in school. And the really sad thing, about that is that it could have been prevented. Her school was aware of the issue, and unfortunately the proper action was not taken. But, in the book, there's no mention of what happened to her. It's very age appropriate. It's really about educating kids on how to deal with different situations of bullying in school. So whether it's directed at themselves or at other people. And then also it's about waking up in the morning and going to bed at night just loving yourself, knowing who you are, positive self-affirmations, and that way you kind of almost arm yourself with like a bully-proof vest, so to speak. But it really is about arming children with the tools that they need to, a first line of defense are those self-affirmations, and then the second line of defense is just knowing how to deal with it, because it can be hard.
Exactly. Well, we appreciate you raising awareness for sure, using your platform to do that, Noelia, and congratulations again on being crowned Miss USA 2023. Again, everyone, Noelia Voight has been our guest, talking with us not only about the journey here. How can our audience stay connected with you?
Absolutely. So I'm going to be competing at Miss Universe on November 18th in El Salvador. So if you want to keep up with that journey and all of the community service projects I'll be involved in, you can follow me on Instagram at Miss USA or my personal Instagram at Noelia Voight. I'm going to be posting a lot on both of those pages, pretty much synonymously. But, that's the best way to follow me.
All right, Noelia, again, congratulations, and thank you again for spending some time with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live.